For every product, there's a knockoff version of it, from Pee-Pee to Nutmaster and even Microsoft Bimbos. But the world of Disney and Pixar have an extensive lineup such as What's Up, Frozen Land, and Braver. The one that caught my eye was A Car's Life, which is a knockoff of, you guessed it, the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. No wait, Cars. I actually really like Cars. It's a wonderful story about friendship, caring, and redemption, and tramp stamps. So I was excited to watch A Car's Life, Sparky's Big Adventure. If it's anything like Cars, it's gonna be great. I didn't actually notice till afterwards that the genres are comedy, animation, and horror, but when you get to the end, you see why. There's an extensive list of these knockoffs, so if you want me to review another one, just let me know in the comments. We start the movie off with our protagonist Sparky and his dad driving down this desolate highway. Like Lightning McQueen, Sparky has a need for speed underground too. He wants Sparky to grow up, but Sparky has a dream. Now right away you might have noticed something. This movie looks like shit. I hope you like empty desert backgrounds because that's 90% of the movie. Sparky says F you dad and starts driving like crazy doing stunts. And here's where we get another fun trope of the movie. Repeated animations. Clearly used to pad out the runtime, and often the characters just do the same thing over and over again. Sparky does like 4 flips in a row here and we kill about 4 minutes of screen time. But then they get pulled over by the cops in what looks like a scene straight out of Mad Max. I'm expecting Sparky to get pitted off the road here. Nah, he just gets a ticket. They pull up to an unmarked grave where lies his cousin Piston, who went missing and all they found was his hubcap.
Where's the rest of Piston?
This hubcap is all they found.
So in human terms, this would be like leaving a dismembered foot on top of an empty grave. They then head over to the gas station they own where we meet the rest of the family. There's Speedy, who's clearly on speed.
Yeah, why? Don't I look okay?
And Gracie, who's stoned and giggling throughout the whole movie.
Good morning, Sparky. You're so funny.
And we also meet my favorite character in the movie, Norbert. Norbert is a gas pump who's had enough of this family's shit and just talks back to them.
He'll be running this gas station someday.
And you wonder why I can't sleep.
Dad's getting annoyed too and tells his stupid kids to shut the F up. We meet the antagonist of the movie, Diesel. She's the cool one who breaks all the rules. She smokes near the gas pumps and drives without a license. So they can take away your driver's license in this universe? That would be like taking away your right to walk. Are you supposed to just sit there until you die of starvation? I'm with Diesel on this one. This is just messed up. She gets pissed off and drives off as a Hummer drives in who's almost out of gas. This is where we discover gas leeches.
Gas leeches! Those parasites are gross!
Like the meth head she is, Speedy tries to clean off the windshield but accidentally rubs oil all over it. And for some reason the Hummer becomes blind? Like the headlights are clearly their eyes, we've established this, so I don't know what her problem is. We have another case of repeating animations to kill time as she just drives in circles for a while. Diesel pulls up to Sparky and, being a bad influence, convinces Sparky to get some mods, which they suggest is kind of just like tattoos. We see a bird here which deepens the lore of the car universe. In Pixar's Cars, the animals are just all different versions of cars. So in this universe, there is biological life that lives alongside the cars. Perhaps these cars were made by humans, and this is the end goal of self-driving cars. The world here looks like a nuclear wasteland, so in this world there was a human war that irradiated the planet, and only the cars and some small animals survived. Apparently there are sequels to this, so maybe they explain that lore in those. Sparky's all clapped out now like a teenager's Honda Civic, and his dad gets pissed. Sparky gets grounded, but Diesel convinces him to sneak around and go to the drive-in. Wouldn't all theaters be drive-ins? Do they have to make that distinction? This further hints at a human past where some of the language kind of carried over. It's like how the save button on your computer is like a floppy disk, even though we haven't used floppy disks in decades. Now we get to see the gas leeches in person. They steal all the gas, so Sparky gets busted because he needs to get a tow home. For some reason the cop is also the tow truck driver. Okay.
It was the gas leeches. I didn't ask.
He gets yelled at by his dad, and once again, Diesel starts talking to Sparky to convince him to do something bad. And here's another bad trend of the movie where the story beats kind of just repeat over and over again. Who would have thought this Cars ripoff would have had bad writing? In the drive-in movie, Sparky learned about the Badlands, and Diesel tells him that's where there are no rules and you can go as fast as you want. And that's also where they hold the annual Champions Cup race. Sparky's hesitant but decides to go anyways. Norbert tries to stop him, but Diesel decides murder is the best thing to do in this situation. She lights Norbert on fire and they all just kind of calmly watch him burn alive. Sparky and Speedy head on out to the Badlands, telling their dad they're going on a road trip. Their dad's kind of an idiot. Like, after all the lies and sneaking around, he's just like, yeah, sure, go have fun. So now they're out on the Badlands, speeding around, having fun, and we just get another drawn-out sequence with repeating animations. They pull up to what I guess is the racetrack. It's just the finish line in the desert with a trophy left out next to it, with no one around. Speedy tells Sparky to try to set the speed record. If you want the trophy, just take it. There's no one around to see you set the record anyways. You could just lie. Again, they just start driving around, repeating the same thing over and over again. They do a few tricks before they get tired and decide to go home. Then Sparky gets shot to death.
Maybe a few more laps.
Just kidding, he's fine. But that was a real scene in the movie and it's not explained and I have no idea what that was about. It kind of reminds me of that, like, what you say?
Maybe a few more laps.
They see a flashing light in the distance and go check it out. It's Diesel. That's suspicious. What is she doing out here? She says she needs help, and when they go to help her, she slaps a boot on Sparky. Speedy just kind of sits there all cracked out as Diesel slowly puts the boot on her too. Now this is when this movie turns into what should be an R-rated horror movie. I think Eli Roth takes over directing at this point. That's when this Hills Have Eyes mutant car comes out of the desert. His name is Igor, and he's got 4 eyes and weird mutant arms. He starts literally cutting them apart while they're still alive, stripping them down to their frame. Sparky starts sobbing as his sister gets mutilated in front of him, nowhere to go but watch. That's when Diesel reveals that she killed his cousin Piston.
Don't cry. Die with dignity, like your cousin, Piston.
This is a kid's movie, right? She dismembered his body and sold his parts off. This movie got dark. Diesel holds him down for the kill, but just before Igor pulls him apart, you hear sirens in the distance. The cops roll up with a literal missile on the side of his car and blows Diesel and Igor up. Sparky asks if she'll be arrested for killing Piston and cutting up Speedy. I guess she's alive, but she doesn't look so good.
Why? Don't I look okay?
But the cop says nope, she'll just get a ticket for driving without a license. So I guess chopping someone up into little pieces is okay in this post-apocalyptic wasteland, but they draw the line at someone driving without a license. His dad shows up too and tells him about his secret past as a race champion. They also basically steal the tramp stamp joke from Cars. Sparky learns a valuable lesson about responsibility. So that was A Car's Life, Sparky's Big Adventure. What did you think? Better than Pixar's Cars? Cars didn't have any mutant desert cannibals, so it's got that going for it. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, leave a like, consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.